I've been sent some questions, and also I'd like to inform the public, all Fijians, through the media, that on Friday I had lodged a complaint with FICAC in respect of some of the operational aspects of FECA. And FICAC subsequently carried out sent out an investigation team to FECA on Friday afternoon and seized, I understand, some documents and various computers. Ladies and gentlemen, this essentially stems from the fact is that the message we want to tell everybody is that if you steal from the people of Fiji, if you take bribes, if you give bribes and conspire to cover it up, then you're going to be brought before the law. And this is the essential premise and the message that we've been sending out to everybody, that we need to ensure that we have very high standards. The complaint, in fact, was precipitated by the fact that we were given access to an email that was sent out by the General Manager of the Customs Division in FECA, in which he says, and I read out, he says, effective from today, no customs staff is to allow any ESU staff, ESU means the Ethical Standards Unit, staff into the customs area or disclose any information to them without consent from customs executive. Any staff in breach of these instructions will be dealt with accordingly. Now, why is there a need to cover up? Why is there a need to stop the Ethical Standards Unit within the organization that is supposed to carry out any complaints vis-a-vis any ethical breaches? Why is there a particular department's head, general manager, sending out an email and stopping people from giving information to this ESU? That is a very critical point. Now, if there is obviously a cover-up, then there must be something that they must be wanting to hide. And as we've said before previously, there has been a number of allegations regarding VAT underclaiming or under declaration. There has been allegations of what we call changing of the tariff, because different tariff codes attracts different rates of duty. Now, we have a lot of anecdotal stories regarding how certain importers in Fiji, in cahoots with customs officers, are actually changing tariff codes so people pay less tariff. They pay less duty. And as a result of which, the revenue that we are getting from those collections in the tariff plus in the VAT collection is significantly diminished. That is like taking money straight out of every Fijian's pocket. Because if we collect the right amount of money and people pay the right amount of money, government has more ability to then carry out more services to the people of Fiji, for the people of Fiji. By allowing this type of behavior to take place, we obviously would be condoning any such irregular behavior and also supporting systemic corruption. I note that after this email was sent out on the 30th of September, just a couple of days ago, or in fact I think a day or so before I lodged the complaint to FICAC, they had agreed through the management again to perhaps allow the ESU team. Nonetheless, a lot of time had been passed, and nonetheless, from what we have got from the reports, even though at one level they have been allowed, there is still a lot of pressure being put on the ordinary staff not to speak to the ESU unit. And that is of great concern to us. Now, we obviously want to appeal to everybody to please do not steal from the Fijian people. If you're a businessman or a woman, if you're importing goods into Fiji, you declare the right amount, state the right tariff code, pay the right amount of money, make your profits, but do it legally. Don't give bribes to customs officers. To customs officers, do not take bribes. To those people within customs department, The general manager and everybody else in the management team, if you are hiding anything, do not do that. You are in fact breaching a very critical KPI of yours, that should be a KPI of yours, which is making sure you strictly adhere to non-corrupt practices, making sure that you ensure that there is no corruption, and if there is any allegations, you must assist, whether it's your ethical standards unit, whether it's your audit team, whether it is FICAC, whether it is police. We cannot have a critical arm of government apparatus, which is FIRCA, not following proper standards. The message is very, very simple. The email is quite evident that was sent out by the General Manager of Customs, telling his staff not to allow any ESU staff into the customs area or disclose any information to them without consent from the custom executives. Why is that? The very purpose of creating an ethical standards unit is to give such a unit unfettered access to staff and to various areas of operations so they can carry out the investigations properly, uninterrupted and without any undue pressure. I have already spoken to the chairman of FIRCA. I spoke to him in fact on Friday. He will be in the country from tomorrow. He was away overseas, and I've mentioned this to him, and we hope to have a meeting with him and his board tomorrow. Of course, FICAC's investigations will continue on its own. They will, of course, follow their own procedures, but it was incumbent as Minister for Finance to report this matter to FICAC, because we thought it was a matter that FIRCA could have dealt with in its own, according to its own internal investigation team. But obviously, this email proves that all is not necessarily well within the management team in FIRCA and the ability to adhere to standards. So this is why, ladies and gentlemen, we have carried out, we've made this complaint, and FICAC visited the premises of FIRCA. Of course, in respect of what they uncover and how far the investigations go, whether it's going to uncover other networks. We have been given a lot of other information where some people have come forward and told us. Of course, we don't necessarily have any evidence, but a lot of anecdotal evidence to say that there is conspiracy extending to other agencies where people may be conspiring in a network. As you know, there's been allegations made of some customs officials receiving free motor vehicles from importers of second-hand car dealers. So there's a number of issues that's at the fore, and we leave that to FICAC to ensure that they follow their own procedures and they'll do their own thing. But as far as the ethical standards of management is concerned, we're very much concerned about it, and we hope to have the discussion with the board on Monday. We cannot have such a key agency of government relenting their responsibilities as far as adherence to ethical standards, as far as the adherence to transparency is concerned.